Hello, Green Planet readers. My name is Heather. I'm from healthyveganrecipes.net. Today I am here hanging out with you guys to show you a kale salad that is so delicious you won't believe that there's kale in it. For those of you out there who might be thinking, kale salad? Really? Don't worry, I hated kale the first time I had it, and there's a simple technique called massaging that I'm going to show you, and we're also going to pair it with a super delicious dressing that's going to be creamy and salty and really flavorful. So don't be scared. Kale is a phenomenally nutritious dark green leafy vegetable, so finding a way to learn to love it is really good. The first thing to keep in mind is keeping it fresh. If you are not lucky enough like I am to have it in the garden in the spring, when you buy it at the store or the farmer's market, just chop off the very bottom ends of the stem and put it in a little glass or vase of water. Keep it in the fridge and it will stay nice and fresh for quite a while. Now, when you're ready to use it, just give it a little rinse to make sure there's no dirt or bugs on it. And then you just want to chop off the very bottom of the stems. Those can go in the compost. Now, the center stem of the kale can be pretty tough. So if you're first starting to eat kale, you might want to just chop it off, or you can rip the leaves off of the stem with your hands. Then you want to make sure that you don't have too big pieces of kale. So when you have a wide leaf of kale, it's a good idea to just slice it down the center or rip it. And then just pile your leaves in a stack and slice them into bite-sized pieces. Okay, now comes the fun part where we really get to soften up the texture of the kale. I'm going to add a little sprinkle of salt, which isn't necessary, but it does really help soften the texture and the bitterness, the natural bitterness in kale. Then just take your hands and massage. Rub the kale with your fingers. And what'll happen, you'll actually be able to see it happening in front of you. It's really cool. The kale will get a little bit moist. It'll change color a little bit. It'll go from a dull green to a really nice bright emerald green. And the texture will noticeably soften. It'll also shrink quite a bit because it wilts, but there you go. Massaged kale. And then get your kale in a bowl. You can actually massage it in the bowl. I just did it on the cutting board so I could show you. And toss in whatever other vegetables you like. I've got some red pepper, some cucumber, some green onion, and some green edamame beans that I've just thawed quickly. Then you can get on to making the dressing. And I find a creamy, salty dressing is best for kale because it gets it coated and the saltiness helps overcome the slight bitterness. My favorite creamy dressing base for kale is avocado. I'm gonna add a clove of fresh garlic in there, some apple cider vinegar, enough water to get it mixing, and then for seasoning, I'm gonna put in some mesquite powder. If you guys haven't tried mesquite, it has a really nice, almost barbecue kind of flavor. But you can also use chili powder or curry powder, and then that's a bit of onion powder and a little bit of salt. So puree it in a blender or food processor or magic bullet. Add some water if you need to, just to thin it out to whatever texture you like. You can also mash this. It works pretty well. It just won't get quite as creamy. And then be sure to give it a taste before you dress your salad to make sure you like the seasonings. There's enough seasoning, there's enough salt. That's really good. And all that's left to do is toss this nice creamy dressing with your salad and eat it. Like I said, the first time I tried kale, I hated it. But now I find when I get it massaged, when I get it in a delicious salad with an awesome dressing like this, that I actually crave kale. So I need to take a bite. It does take a bit of chewing though. You'll probably find that you have some dressing left over. It's great on any other type of salad. It also makes an awesome dip for like some sweet potato fries or something like that. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And you can find all kinds of awesome kale recipes on One Green Planet. And you can also find more of my recipes at healthyveganrecipes.net. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Enjoy your kale salad.